All right, people. Your boy man Mike here with the AFN crew, Feline Sports Podcast. Uh, I'm not at a loss for words. These types of games go down like this with the Saints. It happened last year. We were the beneficiary last year with a last second kick from Young Wei Koo. This year it was Lutz with the clutch kick. But like I said, man, this game is always like this with the Saints, and like I said, like at the end of the day, man, there was a couple of things about this game that kind of irritated me. Is that the fact I didn't like how um, Tyler Algier was, he didn't start the game. I thought that was an idiotic play. I thought that was an idiotic decision to have him not, because Cordero Patterson is a great player, but we use him as the sole like he was the sole playmaker on the offense. Offensively, the offensive line they did well. I thought the running game did exactly what it was supposed to do. But when it came down to it, one mistake in my opinion, and everybody else can take off. But one thing did us in right now, and Dean Pease decided that he wanted to play prevent defense. I don't know why he decided to do that. We'll wait till the press conference to kind of figure that out, to see how he responds to that. I thought our linebackers were okay. I thought they were pretty bad in coverage, to be honest. But he kind of took that away. He used a lot of pressures up front to kind of get them to think less. But I think, like I said, it was a good game for the most part until that fourth quarter. Dean Pease decided to give um, your boy Crab Legs more time. I don't know why he decided to do that. Like I said, I'm interested to see what he says. But hey, man, what y'all got?
I need a band-aid.
Um, my
You need a
response.
band-aid. Go ahead, go ahead.
I was just saying my response. I do agree with what you were saying as far as with DNPs, because like you had them under fire all game, no rhythm whatsoever. Like this man, like you had Jameis on the ropes. He had nothing, absolutely nothing. The pass rush, like we gotta look at it, people. We had 18 sacks last year. We got 4 today, so that was a plus. um, which was an improvement on that part. But you cannot take your foot off the gas. This has been a lingering thing for the Falcons literally since 2015. We somehow, somewhere, we got to break this. We got to break getting a nice lead and then getting comfortable and try to play prevent defense, which ultimately leads to us taking a loss. And offensively, the only problem I had about offense today, we ran the ball well, true. I'm gonna need Mariota to learn how to slide. Bro got to slide. That was, I will say this, I felt like that was also a turning point of the game. That we got a turnover, we driving downfield, and then you lost the ball because instead of you just sliding like a normal quarterback, you want to try to dive forward, and then the ball got punched out. I mean, we all know how the game goes. The game is about turnovers. They were +1.
Mm-hmm.
They had 2 fumbles forced, which they recovered, and then we had a fumble that was forced that we recovered. So the game name of the game is turnovers. There was +1. There you go. There you go. But I will agree. If I'm going, it's a team effort, no doubt. Everybody play their part. But if we gonna sit here and say why did we lose, I'm gonna have to put most of that on Peas. You preached about us not being a bad defense. You tired of that crap, this, that, and third. And for most of the game, you only gave up maybe like 130, 140 yards. And then you let Jameis just go dumb in the fourth quarter. Well, we both ended up with 300 plus yards on offense. That is bad. That looked like the same defense, even though it's not. We definitely improved, but you cannot have that. You cannot have that. I'll let somebody else talk on this.
Black,
Yeah,
what
you
got?
covered everything. You covered
Oh, never
everything
mind.
that.
Go ahead.
Can y'all hear me?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you covered everything, LT. Well, everything I wanted to say, man. Like, and this is one of the reasons why Mariota was hurt a lot in Tennessee. You want to take these hits, bruh. Slide, dive. Like, you don't need to be trying to go head up against defenders like that. Like, take what you can get. We was already in the red zone. If anything, worst case scenario, we would have kicked the field goal, had 29 points. Could have still won the game with 29 points. But the biggest culprit in this game is the defense. We became, the Falcons of old under an old coaching regime because we want to play bend don't break defense. We broke. We broke. We were letting Jameis get 20 yards, 30 yards here, and I'm like, bro, in the first half, he wasn't getting nothing. That was -2 in passing yards.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot allow our defense to just go like that just because we up by 2 or 3 touchdowns. Like, you still got to keep your foot on their throats. That's all I got to say.
Black, Jew, one of you guys.
I'll let Blackberry go first since I just jumped in.
I got a few things. First off, I'm gonna say this. I don't want Marcus Mariota running sideways. Get what you can upfield and go down. I thought he got a little too excited that a lot of what we was doing in the first half was working, with him running the ball, with him running outside the pocket, with him being able to make decisions outside the pocket. I think he got a little too excited that everything was working. It was going our way perfectly. And he got a little too excited. He started trying to do too much. And one of my keys to the victory was win the turnover battle. And he tried to do a little too much, and he created a turnover. He was the reason for a turnover. So we lost the turnover battle. And I just need him to not run sideways. Get what you can upfield. Like LT said, learn how to slide. Get what you can upfield. Stop all that running sideways shit. We don't need that out of you. We like that we can get positive yards with you running the ball. We do like that. We don't need you trying to do too much though. Got a little too excited, thing will work. Got a little too excited, trying to do too much. I didn't like the play calling, offensively nor defensively, in the second half. After that next scoring drive we had in the second half, I didn't like the play calling after that. I think we got conservative. I think we went away from what was working a little bit. You start seeing a lot less of Mariota out of them doing plays with him. He's swinging out the pocket. You saw a lot more him standing in the pocket, and that's fine. You want your quarterback to be able to.
It was way too much pistol formation for me. The pistol formation made them one-dimensional in the second. They did not get out of the pistol formation the entire second half. It was the same formation the whole second half. That pistol formation.
Yeah, they did. They you need to. If something's working, there's no use in going away from it too much. I know you're gonna have to go away from it a little bit to keep the defense on their toes, but I think we went away from what was working a little bit, little too much. And we just had some missed, it was some missed opportunities there. After they got it within one scope, we had a couple drop passes. We had penalties that cost us position. And these are things that I think can be coached up with the penalties. We can get more discipline. We can be more disciplined in situations where we need our players to be more focused. I think that can be coached up. Not too worried about it, but today it cost us. I got a lot else to say, but I'm a little low for words.
Go ahead, Jude.
So first off, what's good, fellas, man? Mike, you said it best on Twitter. We went away from what was working. I think it was Don in here talking before I came in, and I'm disappointed that we didn't continue to bring the pressure. That was really what was in my keys to victory. Was if you pressure Jameis Winston, you rattle him, you make him inaccurate. We seen earlier in the game at halftime they were -2 as far as passing yards. We were controlling the tempo of the game. We were controlling the line of scrimmage. And in the last, we let him gain a rhythm. We let the offense gain a rhythm with their passing game. But I also talked about without having Deion Jones, who's your best coverage linebacker, Rashaan Evans, Michael Walker, those guys are best when they can just go downhill. It's no thinking involved pretty much when you're blitzing. It's just get to the ball, see ball, get ball. And I feel like later on in the game, on that last drive, I don't know what Casey Hayward was doing when they threw the ball down the field and Jarvis Landry made the catch. I mean, at this point, we know that they got to throw the ball to get into field goal range. Why he was squatting so long, and they talked about it on the telecast, where he just let Jarvis Landry run right by him. I don't know if it was a miscommunication. And that's another thing that I want to talk about since I'm mentioning miscommunication. We seen earlier in the game when Taysom Hill had that big run. To me, it was looking like it was a lot of confusion out there with the linebackers, where players were going in and out of the game because Dean Pease was subbing guys in and out. And a couple times on defense, it didn't look like we were set and ready to play. And that's a huge problem when you go up against quarterbacks that are smart, like Tom Brady, who like to rush up to the line. And you've seen when the Saints got into rhythm, what did they do? They went into that no huddle. So we should have just stayed blitzing. You don't have to, it's no thinking involved when we say we blitzing. No matter what, we blitzing. And if it holds up, because we tried it again, but after Jarvis made that big catch, it was kind of too late. When he made that catch, they pretty much were already in field goal range. So he did come back with a blitz, but we should have never stopped blitzing. It's like once you're doing something and it's working, why go away from it? And to be honest, I think the Saints did the same thing similar to what we did. After that drive where Taysom Hill was able to had that big run, they went away from Taysom Hill until like later on in the game, where I felt like if I were their offensive coordinator, I would have stuck with that Taysom Hill running game a little bit more to see what they could get out of it, because they still were getting yards out of it. It wasn't like we were shutting down their run game. We were shutting down Alvin Kamara and we were shutting down Ingram, but we still were struggling with that wildcat or that offense with Taysom Hill was just taking the ball and running and rolling out, where he would have lead blockers out in front of him. So my main issue today was we just got to stick with the blitz. When something is working, don't go away from it, no matter what. I mean, when the game is on the line, we pressured Winston all game, and he's been throwing the ball. I mean, he could have threw a couple interceptions today. Jalen Hawkins dropped one. It was another play where we came on a blitz, and he almost threw it right to A.J. Terrell. So I don't know why Dean Pease decided to go away from the blitz in that situation, because to be honest, that play with Jarvis Landry running straight down the field, it took a while for that to develop. If you blitz, he doesn't have time to let Jarvis Landry run down the sideline and, wind up and make that huge throw down the sideline. So it was plays in the game that, I always talk about those 3 and 4 plays in the game that changed the game. Mariota, him fumbling that ball in the red zone was crucial. But the main thing is, the main moral of the story is Dean Pease went away from that blitz. He should have never went away from bringing pressure. We should have kept our foot on their neck. We should have kept pressuring him, because he was inaccurate all game. And him and Michael Thomas, their timing, those timing throws were off because we were sending that pressure.
So let me get these super chats, and we got tragic 404, and I'm positive I know who that is. But thank you for the 199. Rose Stackson says, what the hell, Dean Pease went with the soft defense. Mariota got to slide and stay inbound that last run and had to keep the clock running. Matty Ghost here, Anthony Rush, Graham Ogum Deji, all bombs. I just don't agree with that whatsoever. All got Ebiketie, Grady, Carter, out pass rush. Listen, look, at the end of the day, it's still about.
We don't need to be trashing the players, man. The defense, the
That,
guys went out there and did what the coaches told them to do. At the end of the day,
that and
it's
that's
some DPs.
and that's the thing. Look, at the end of the day, we tell this is all about football. It's about team sports. If a coach make a questionable decision and take away what got you, and this is what you know what you were talking about. Why go away from what works? What got them into a rhythm? Les Jameis Winston still threw for 5,000 yards, even when he threw for 30 interceptions. So he's a streaky player. You can allow him to get in a rhythm. And we saw that. He was throwing dimes. All those plays, AJ Terrell couldn't even get his head around before the ball was right on him. So, like I said, at the end of the day, Mike Thomas going to catch. He's a guy, he's going to catch that. The pass on the sideline we had on the sideline, that's just a great throw and a great catch. In the end zone, a great throw. The throw was perfect. AJ couldn't have better coverage. That's just a perfect throw. Perfect.
We needed pressure. If we had the pressure, that shit would have never happened. If we had pressure, it would have never happened. Like Terrell and these guys, Casey Hayward, they can only cover so much.
And that's the thing. When it works, you cannot go away from it. That's what it all comes down to. Like I said, it's great coaching. Offensively, like I said, one thing that I do not like whatsoever. I understand that Cordero Patterson is a dynamic player, but I think he has no confidence in any of his running backs. That's just my honest opinion. He used Cordero way too much. And this is another thing that we were talking about with his offense. His offense is designed to be, you can't have a lot of mistakes in his offense. It wasn't too conservative, in my opinion, because the same plays that he was calling in the first half, he called in the second half. But the thing is, Mariota dropped the ball. He fumbled the ball. The offensive line had a few penalties, and that was Blackberry was talking about there earlier about, you got to win you can't beat yourself. You can't beat yourself. And those are the things. The holding on, what was it? 68. I think that was one of the worst times that you want to, get a holding penalty doing, you going good and you get a holding penalty. But like I said, at the end of the day, I think Arthur got to trust his running backs. I think if anything, he has to trust his running backs. You cannot continue to run. You're doing the exact same thing that you did last year with CP. He's a dynamic player, but he's 32. He has wear and tear on him. Trust your players. He did not trust his running back this game. Tyler Algier had been running all preseason, and then you put him inactive.
Yeah, I didn't like that move. And not only that, you brought up a good point about Cordell. Like, bro, we need to try to conserve him as much as we can if we go down the stretch at the end of the season trying to make a playoff run. You're giving him too many carries. You're giving him way too many carries, man. His other running backs, I know Williams went out with an injury, but like he got to activate Algier next week, man.
Yeah, that was crucial. This would have been a perfect game for Tyler Algier because he's a physical runner that's going to run downhill just like a Cordell Patterson. But I think in fairness to Arthur Smith, because he didn't have Algier up this game active, I don't think he, of course, don't believe in Avery Williams to run the ball between the tackles, but that would be the main reason, why I would have a Tyler Algier up. for this game. He should have been active, even though he didn't know Williams was going to get injured. Because I think that Williams was going to have a bigger role in this game as well. But he got hurt, I think, in like the first quarter. So in fairness to Coach Smith, I think that was the major issue. But the issue was we just didn't stick with what worked. That's what got us in trouble. That's what got our last regime in trouble. Anytime you go away from what's working, you're trying to lose the game. Jameis Winston had nothing going. The Saints had no confidence when we were blitzing. All of a sudden, for us to just turn on the guys on the defensive line was doing their job early in the game. For that one super chat that we had that they talked about all of the defensive linemen are trash. No, those guys were balling. We were controlling both lines of scrimmage. It was not until we stopped being aggressive, we started being passive, that those guys, he got into a rhythm. We started playing passive. We started playing off, and that's what got us in trouble. That's what was the major issue. We didn't keep that pressure on Jameis Winston, and that was the key to the game. Keep the pressure on. Keep the pressure on. Don't let them get into a rhythm. Mike Thomas is an all-pro wide receiver. Jarvis Landry is these guys are good wide receivers. If you give these guys time, and once they figured out that timing, when you're bringing that pressure, as Don was talking about, those pinpoint accurate throws we're talking about, he was doing that when we had off coverage. He wasn't doing that when they were press man and we were bringing that pressure. He wasn't hitting those targets like that. He was getting sacked. He was holding the ball. He was seeing ghosts. We said he couldn't do anything. It was when we let up that he actually got into that rhythm, and then it was over. Once you let a streaky player get hot, look, good defense, better offense. We can't expect our corners to cover all day. And we got to look at they were running a no huddle, so those guys up front, they're going to get gassed. Grady Jarrett, AK, those guys up front, they got gassed in the fourth quarter. And how many times have we seen that in the past regime? When you're playing out coverage and you just rely on those front four to get there, when they go up tempo, your guys are gassed because that ball's coming out quick. So,
I mean, and you're absolutely right. Like because like throughout the whole first three quarters, you seen Grady just wreaking havoc on that front. Like any passing situations, bro, he was pushing the lineman back. He was swim moving, splitting the double teams or whatnot. He was getting back there. But like I said, fourth quarter came, you don't let him off the gas, he ain't got nothing. And then you trying to make it okay, you be the only one, y'all front gonna be the ones that's gonna create that pressure. No, man, you gotta get them boys some help. And the piggyback off of Tyler Algier not getting not playing this game, that was questionable to me too. But I'm trying to be in the business of trusting the trusting the coaching staff. And I still do trust them because it's just week one. There's no need to be going crazy like, oh my God, we're gonna do this, that, and third. It's just the fact that when it boiled down to it, like seeing that loss take place today, it has so much, of old regime ties. Like we've seen this movie so many times. I'm tired of watching it. Like that's what it boils down to. So I can't wait to see DNP's press conference. I'm not trying to be no asshole or anything like that, but I definitely gonna have an explanation on why you let off the gas. Cause like you said, Jameis was out there seeing ghosts. The man couldn't get nothing. He had no rhythm. He had nothing. And then they say, he on fire. And just before we started this chat, I was telling the guys. Before we started live, I was telling the guys in the backstage that I always viewed Jameis as a J.R. Smith. And what I mean by that is J.R. Smith was one of those basketball players that when he cold, I'm talking about he an iceberg. But when he hot, he hell. And that's Jameis. You seen that it was like a tail of it, like you seen that for 3 quarters he was cold. I'm talking about iceberg couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. But the minute he got going, it wasn't no stopping him. And we have to fix that. We have to fix that. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Travis. Go ahead.
We have to fix that. We have to fix Really, truly, I just need Mariota not to be taking so many shots, dude. We got a 17 game season. You ain't gonna last taking hits like that. Like you were taking too many hits for my liking in the first game of the season. Like literally the first game of the season, where you taking hard shots. No, sir. You want to dive and get extra yards, bro? Just slide. If they hit you, that's an extra 15. Do what you need to do to protect yourself. The league is dedicated. The league is predicated for you to be protected. So if you take a shot while you sliding, guess what? That's a penalty. But you have to protect yourself. That is the main thing. Protect yourself. Stop trying to be superhero. This is why it didn't work out for you in Tennessee. This is why it didn't work out. You was a backup in Las Vegas, but at the end of the day, when it boils down to it, you just can't have this keep happening, dude. You have to protect yourself. If you don't protect yourself, you're gonna get hurt, and you're gonna cost us games. I ain't trying to put the fumble on him, but that do hurt. Like Mike had mentioned earlier, a false start penalty that was like inside the 5 hurt us, and then a driver we were driving and he fumbled the ball that hurt us. You have to protect yourself. We got to quit shooting ourselves in the foot. We have got to stop that. I don't even think did we really even get penalties on defense today? Because I really didn't see much. Now defensively, most of the penalties came on the opposite side of the ball.
Yeah, and that's and like I said, that's the thing. One of the things about Arthur Smith, he doesn't like turnovers. He does not like our quarterbacks and our players to make mistakes. You're going to the bench, so I know this was a sore subject in last week a few, but this is football. This is why we say, man, like things change from week to week. If he continues to turn the ball over as much as he did, because today I think it was at least 3 mistakes by Mariota, if I'm not mistaken.
It was.
Those are 3 turnovers. You can't win like that when your quarterback is making mistakes, missing. You're not handling the. It was a fumble. He mishandled the snap, which is another fumble, and something else. I know I'm missing something else, but those you can't win football games with your quarterback making those type of mistakes. So I know a lot of people are wondering, and now he's just gonna have to take that L because guess what? You think Jim Schultz ain't licking his chops right now? He gonna be right there saying to himself, "What about Desmond Ridder? When is he gonna see it?" Because Marcus did this to himself. You got to protect the ball, and you can't make stupid mistakes. If you just slide, more than likely the Falcons get a touchdown on that possession. But he took that away and they're fumbling. So you don't get anything from that. That's another score. You're taking points away with those mistakes. And those are crucial mistakes in crucial positions. So Arthur really got something. He got something to think about now in the quarterback position. Like I said, you can't not have your starting quarterback. Now I think he's going to have the second game to really, to kind of to prove himself, see what he does against to redeem himself against the Rams. But if those turnovers, continue at the quarterback position, we're going to be seeing Ridder a lot faster, a lot quicker than what we anticipated. Let me get this one of the super chats. 706 dog. They just need to learn how to close games out in 3 minutes of the game while the wheels falling off. Look, like I said, I think they know how to close the games out, but the coaches can't. Again, turnovers, crucial turnovers in crucial situations. And I think the biggest thing in this game is Dean Pease. The biggest thing is just Dean Pease for me. That's what really sticks out this entire game. You cannot allow Jameis Winston to get in the rhythm. You cannot allow any quarterback to get in the rhythm. And I think that's what it comes down to. They allowed him to just sit back there, and they found. I mean, look, let's be honest. That was a desperation move to go to that hurry up. That was a desperation move to go to the hurry up. That was the last resort because they had tried everything. They came in running the ball. Falcons, eventually adjusted to Taysom Hill running the ball. They were doing the short, the short passing game. Falcons adjusted to that, but when he took the blitz away, that's when you started to see them get in a rhythm.
As I was trying to say is you have to when you in the red zone, you have to play smart football as a quarterback, man. You have to once again. I know we keep hopping on Mariota, but he should have slid right there, man. He should have slid a dive. And like I said, like LT said earlier, if they would have collided with him, there would have been a penalty on them. If they didn't, we still had possession of the ball, and then he had a first down on that run too. So you had a new set of downs. You had a new set of downs. That worst case scenario out of that drive, we would have kicked the field goal. We would have been up 29 points. That would have iced the game right there. We would have won. They would have been, like I said, man. With that situation, he has to play smart football in the red zone. So next week.
Oh, Dave Ragone, he got in his ass on the sideline when he saw that. Yep. I don't know if you guys paid attention, but Dave Ragone lit a fire in there. That was dumb.
I saw it. I saw that. And like we said, man, you already got your job taken in Tennessee, all right? And you have a young quarterback that everybody got their eyes on behind you. You're not making your case and saying that you need to be the starting quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons when you're going out there in crucial moments, fumbling the ball. Not only, like I said, on that play right there, they gave the ball back to them, but also on the snap when it was 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1 right there, where you could have converted and had more downs, and we could have went down the field and tried to do something. But hey, it is what it is, man. We just gotta on to the next team and see what we gotta do, and we're gonna be straight. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's disappointing as it is that we didn't get this. I think it's still warranted to say that we got a lot to build on. We got a lot that we can build off of watching this game. I think the run options are going to be there. The option to run the ball is going to be there all year for us. We just got to be smarter about when we run the ball, who we giving the ball to. We've been saying it here since we started here. You can't beat yourself. When you beat yourself, the other team's gonna beat you.
And that's what happened. We lost this game more than that. The Saints actually won it. We lost more than the Saints won. We being real. I give my credit to them. Yeah, they won the game, but this game should have been in the bag early in the 4th. We should have came out of there with a win. The score should have been 29. The score should have been 29-17 or 29-18. That's what it should have been.
I don't want these Ain't fans to get it twisted. Y'all came out with this win, but I don't want y'all to get it twisted. If we make smarter choices coaching on the defensive side of the ball, smarter choices coaching on the offensive side of the ball, and if we get Mariota to make a couple more smarter decisions, y'all don't win this game. Y'all didn't. We were the better. I really feel like we were the better team in this game, and we let it slip past us. We let this game slip out of our hands.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I'm right there with you. I just think the Falcons is a better team. Honestly, looking at this game, they completely dominated both sides of the ball, and that's just like I said, the game was lost on Mariota fumbled the ball on that first down. That game is over. The Falcons have all the momentum right there. He fumbled the ball. All you have to do is slide, but he's trying to do his best Cam Newton impression, run over guys and all that. Like, look, bro, at some point you got to play smart. Sometimes you got to take the 2. You don't need the 3-pointer. All we needed was a 2. We needed a layup. We needed a rebound. You trying to do superhero stuff. So, like I said, I like DPs. Looking at this team, I'm gonna be just like honest. I don't think even that one play, even DPs going to a soft coverage. Like I said, if anybody's most at fault in this particular game, I will have to say DPs. But even with that mistake, the Falcons had opportunities to continue to run the clock out and score touchdowns. They didn't do that. They fumbled in key situations. They had penalties in key situations. The game of football is about picking up your team. They didn't do that.
We also had drop passes as well by the receivers, which it is for what it is. Though you throwing to Hodge and guys like that, so but still you got to execute on offense.
Another.
Honestly, I think the offense, the offensive game plan was good. Outside of players going out there executing doing what they need to do. Go ahead, LT.
I just want to say, but I think the reason why we didn't really see nothing call for him much because they pretty much like the Saints defense had pretty much zeroed in on Kyle Pitts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you could tell that's one of the reasons why the running game was so successful early on in the game. They had zeroed in on Kyle Pitts, and that's why we was able to take shots downfield and whatnot. We definitely got to figure out a way to get him involved. But like I said, of course, I understand where it comes from. Like, we're not gonna overdo it just for the sake of saying we got we giving the ball to him, because that just don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? I don't like anybody don't know we ain't trying to force nothing if we ain't got to force it. So, but I've definitely got to see what's going to be the game plan from here on out, because I know a lot of fans or a lot of people probably figured that Kyle Pitts was just going to have this monster game today, and then you see where he was pretty much non-existent. But like I said, that goes with the fact that the Saints know he's a quality. He's a damn good tight end. I mean, they seen firsthand last year he did hurt them, so they're looking like this. We can't allow this man to hurt us again. So, like I said, it's gonna be some improvements. I know a lot of folks was probably expecting a win against the Saints today, and we didn't get one. Listen, we still got a full season to play. We got a rematch again later on down the road. It is what it is. But ain't no need to just focus on whether we won this game or not, because at the end of the day, we still got the rest of the season to play.
Let me address this this comment right here. DNP's he's just talking about culture change. The culture has been changed. This is a young football team. They got pressure. They hit him all day. They hit him all day. We haven't had pressure in a long time. But you still have to play smart football. You can have all the stats. You can have look at the last game. Look at the NFC championship, the AFC championship game against the Cincinnati Bengals. Them dudes had like 9 sacks. But in other areas of the game, they were flawless. So again, the culture has been changed, but you still have to learn how to win games. I think that's the biggest thing. Good teams and great coaches know how to win games and not make mistakes. Tom Brady doesn't make mistakes. Matt Ryan don't make mistakes. Drew Brees don't make mistakes. Peyton Manning, those guys don't make mistakes. When quarterbacks make mistakes, that's why they get paid the $200, $300 million, because they don't make mistakes. When you're quarterback, you can have wide receivers drop passes, you can have them fumble, but when your quarterback is continuously making a ton of mistakes, you don't have a shot in hell. That's what kills your football team, when quarterbacks make mistakes.
Or just turnovers in general. Like, in this game. We talked about it, and Blackberry was talking about it. Like we said in our keys to victory, we had to win the turnover battle. We didn't do that in this game. Early on, Zacchaeus had a crucial fumble. He catches the ball for a big gain, gets the ball punched out. You can't have certain plays like that happen. That snatches all of the momentum. And like you were saying, when Mariota fumbled the ball, the momentum. Football is a game of momentum. We had all the momentum, and it was a comment in the chat where they talked about the last drive where it was 4th and 1, and we decided to punt the ball. In that situation, I wouldn't mind going for it. The way that we were running the ball against them, and now that you have a dual threat quarterback, rip their heart out. Because if we get that first down, the game is over. So we gave them the ball back. So that's another thing that we talk about, Mike, with coaching is sometimes you got to understand where the game is going. Being that I understand that the Saints had game momentum on offense and my defense is gassed, on that 4th and 1, we at midfield. I'm going for it. I'm just saying, look, we get this first down. I believe in you guys. Cordell Patterson, you've been gashing them. Mariota, you've been gashing them. We should be able to pick up 1 yard. Instead of going for it, we decided to just take the penalty, delay a game, and punt the ball. No, win the game right there. Win the game. Don't even give them the opportunity. So that's another opportunity that we had. To be honest, we could have snatched their heart out right then and there. So I wouldn't have minded us going for it right there because I feel like that was a crucial part in the game. And because you saw the defense was unraveling, you saw that Jameis Winston had, gained that momentum. Sometimes you got to understand when it's winning time. Just rip their heart out. We should have just went. That was another opportunity we had where we could have just went for it because the Saints had all the momentum. The way we could have snatched that momentum back and won the game. And this is what Mike was saying. We had many opportunities where we could have won the game. We could have, we could have called your best play on that 4th and 1, whether it's a run, whether it's a rollout pass. You have so many options because of the mobile quarterback. We could have got 1 yard. Personally, I think you could have won the game right there. And then we're not even talking about even having this discussion. So, like I said, I've seen a lot of good things today. Hats off to the O-line. Drew Dahlman, Mike talked about him. That whole offensive line, it was times where Marcus Mariota was clean in the pocket. He was just sitting there with his flat-footed, nobody around him. I can't remember the last time we faced the Saints and we know they like to bring pressure. I didn't see Cam Jordan at all, right? Like none of them guys really even touched Mariota.
They didn't do much all game.
Yeah, they didn't do other than when he was running outside the pocket, when he was in the pocket, they were not getting no pressure. The offensive line did their job. So it was more positives I saw in this game than negatives. As you guys said, I feel like we really lost this game more than the Saints won it. The Saints know they dodged the bullet. We was the more physical team. We won the trenches. The only thing we lost is in crucial areas when those 4 to 5 plays I always talk about that lose you the game. That's where we lost the game. Those 4 or 5 plays where we lost the game. So I really feel like we outplayed them for, let's say, play 60 minutes is what K-Style say. We outplayed them for 59 minutes. We outplayed them for about 59 minutes.
45. I'm going to say 45.
45 minutes. Yeah, we outplayed them all the way up until the tail end of the game. So I feel like I'm not worried about this Falcons team at all. From what I've seen today, the only thing that I don't like about it is you got to win the games where you have that momentum. Like we had this game. You outplayed them the whole game. Like we don't know if the next game is going to start out the way that this game started out. So when you got everything going your way, you got to take advantage of it because we dominated the Saints the whole game. It was no reason why we should have lost this game. This is a game that you should have marked down as a W. That just goes back to what Blackberry was pointing at his head. You got to think. You got to be smart in crucial situations. And we didn't win those crucial situations. Mariota fumbling, us not going for it on that last, like I said, on that 4th and 1, we probably easily picked that up. It's so many other ways where we could have won this game. So many plays that was out there that could have been made. Dropped interception by Jalen Hawkins. Like I said, it was just so many plays in this game that we left on the table. And that's where the game was lost.
And give Mariota most snaps in practice under center.
Exactly.
Give him most snaps under center in practice, please.
I'm gonna agree with you as well, Juju, because let me tell you, man, like the terminology, like you said, that 4th and 1. You don't have Matt Ryan no more. You have a dual threat quarterback. So if you ran a read option or whatever, make that end choose. Make him choose. Now, if that's the one time I need Mariota to be physical and go get that yard, that's it. Not any other time of the game. That play is when I want you to lower your shoulder to go get a yard. But the rest of the game, protect yourself. But you are absolutely right. On a 4th and 1, you could easily get that first. And like you said, it's not like the Saints been stopping it. I don't even think they might have had maybe one tackle for loss the whole game. And that mainly because I think on that play when they did get it, Cordero was trying to find a hole and he slipped.
Yeah. He hurt his ankle, I think, on that play because he ran off after that play. He tried to, he slipped. And then the other play is when Mariota fumbled under center and they got
right.
He was like no gain.
Parker Hesse in the end zone, in the red zone. He got the false start in the red zone. And Falcons were, I think they was like a yard or two away from on the goal line, and then he ended up getting the false start, and they ended up again. Those are that's why I say I'm not disappointed in Arthur Smith at all because he did enough to win the game. But when you got players that are making individual errors, you can call it. There's no such thing as a perfect call. But as an offense and the defense, you can play a perfect game. And we just didn't play a perfect game at the end of the day. You got to be able to call. When your number is called, you got to make more positive plays than negatives, especially in the crucial moments. And like I said, we just didn't do that. And like I said, we allowed Jameis Winston to get in a rhythm. And like I said, we can say you can say whatever we want to say about him. But we know he can make them NFL throws. Those throws against AJ Terrell, like I said, that's great coverage, great hands by Michael Thomas, and he is a legit receiver. I still think, he's going to have some trouble this year because he looked mighty slow. And that's going to be a problem. I don't think they're going to be able to count on him the way that they think. They're going to have to design a lot of stuff to get him up because he did not look healthy again this game. But when you get that ball in his vicinity, that dude, he gonna bring that thing in. He gonna bring that thing in. And like I said, the dude was he was unbelievable in that 4th quarter. Him and Jameson, those guys were unbelievable in that 4th quarter. They got in the rhythm, and the Falcons just couldn't do anything to get them out of that rhythm. I think Jude was absolutely right when he said, all right, we got to rip their heart out. I think in that 4th and 1, that was the perfect time to kill that momentum. If you go for it, even if you don't get it, you cannot allow that ball to get back in Jameis and Mike Thomas' hand right there. Those are the situations. Like I said, it's his 2nd year as a coach. This is his 1st year still with a lot of these weapons on it. And like looking at his play calling now, that's why I said about having CP running the ball. I didn't like that because he went back to what he knows. And that's something when you got young players, you can't go back to what you got to at least show something. Show those guys that, hey, I'm going to dial your number. And I like Avery, but he shouldn't be our star. He shouldn't be a running back. He should not be a running back for the Falcons. There was a couple of holes that I thought he ended up, he showcased that he was a 3rd, 4th string running back, and he had no business doing that in certain situations. Like I said, a great game plan by Arthur. He put together a great game plan that absolutely worked. But when you make mistakes at the quarterback position, I tell people this all the time. Matt Ryan did not make mistakes in that 2nd half of the game. He doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't make mental mistakes. Those are the things that send you to the Super Bowl. That right there is what gets you into the Super Bowl and consistently in playoffs and 60,000 yards. Not making those subtle. We always say this: the small, intricate details of football. That's what lost us the game this time. The small, intricate details of football. So,
I'm gonna add to that too. What I'm gonna say, all I'm gonna say is we've been preaching literally for like the last few years since we all really just started really doing shows together. We've been preaching for the last few years situational football, and we failed in that department today. So that has to get that. We have to go to the drawing board, and we have to figure out how can we be successful in situational football. That way, when this type of stuff comes up again, we ain't gonna we ain't touching our assholes. We relax, we ready to go, like we know what to do. Instead of looking like, oh God, what we gonna do here? How can I figure out to pull out a win? And be doing that.
Learn from your mistakes.
Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying, learn from your mistakes. It's all that. You know you had missed opportunities out there today. As a coaching staff, you know you had missed opportunities. Learn from those mistakes so that the next time around you make a better choice, you make a better decision. Hopefully they'll do that. Hopefully from this point on with that situational football, when you're in situations where you need to close out the game, when you're in situations where you need to rip the heart out of the opponent, don't be afraid to be aggressive. Trust your running backs when the running game is working. Trust that they can get you a yard. Trust that they can get you 2 yards. Don't be afraid to be aggressive. Don't get conservative too early. And I hope that they learn from those mistakes today.
Yeah, let me clear one up because everybody else like Matt Ryan make mistakes. Matt Ryan doesn't make mental mistakes. There's a difference between making mistakes and mental mistakes. Matt Ryan does not make mental mistakes. We saw, even to be honest, I saw an opportunity for him to throw the ball more. I thought he was a little bit too hesitant to throw the ball. If he wasn't comfortable, he would hold the ball a little bit too long, and the receivers kind of got. I thought they were I thought, especially Cordero Hodge. I'm starting to really like him in this offense. I think he's a guy. He's one of those unsung guys that I think he's going to see a little bit more paying time. He got the ball and he had a few passes, but we're talking about as a quarterback, what you cannot do, especially when you're a receiver. This is one of the reasons why Malik Willis was benched. It wasn't because he did great when he had his opportunity to run. He made some good throws, but he left a lot of wide open receivers. I thought there was a few receivers in this game that they were, especially Drake London. I thought Drake London, he had a great chemistry with him, but I didn't see as many passes that I needed to see out of Kyle Pitts, and I think that that's largely due to the fact that they were doubling and tripling on Kyle Pitts. But like I said, at the end of the day, I think he has to focus more on being a quarterback versus being an athlete. And this is what we talk about when you bring these mobile quarterbacks in. They're not thinking being quarterback. They're not thinking I need to get this ball to Kyle Pitts. I need to pass this ball to Drake London. They're thinking athlete first. And I think that's what the great quarterbacks in the NFL do. They think quarterback first, usually to buy time and get those guys on the ball. Because you look at Russell Wilson, he's one of those guys. Yeah, he's an athlete, but he uses legs to buy him time so he can get the ball to his receivers. None of his receivers you never see Seattle receivers complaining about Russ not throwing them the ball because he's going to do that. So I need to see more from Mariota as a passer. I wasn't happy how he kind of facilitated the offense for the wide receivers getting the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mariota played pretty well in the game. I just think, like you said, he just has to be better about letting the ball go, trusting himself. I think he did a good job. He was pretty pinpoint accurate on most of his passes today. The main thing with today's game, my biggest gripe is what you guys have already said, is just he got to learn how to get down and protect himself, or he's not going to make it through the 17-game schedule. I feel like he got a slide. It was only one play that I seen him actually slide, and that was later on in the game after
Yeah.
Dave was going fussed him out. It's like, yeah, dude, just get down. Like you taking all this unnecessary punishment. Like just slide, get outside the pocket, run out of bounds, slide. There's no reason for you to be trying to truck guys. You're not a running back. Just get down. Like they said, they protect the quarterbacks, but once you become a runner, it was too many times to me where he was just running downfield, taking too many unnecessary, too much unnecessary punishment. Just slide, get down, protect yourself. But other than that, I think he did well. When he passed the ball, Drake London showed why he's going to be special. Even Zacchaeus was pretty sharp on all his routes. I think we did a good job of mixing up that running pass. Like we had them in our back pocket. Like we talked about it. Once Cordell Patterson got going on that drive when we went down, Taysom Hill scored, and then that next drive, CP pretty much ran it down their throat. We had that run pass option was destroying them because they had to bring that extra man down in the box because they couldn't stop Cordell Patterson. I mean, he was out there just bullying people. I'm like, man, that dude is a straight man. Like the way he did Honey Badger, he was like, them guys didn't want to tackle that man. He was out there. Yeah, he would run like a bat. Like, man, that dude was looking like a bat out of hell. The way that he was hitting him, like we talk about Mike Davis not knowing how to hit the hole. He was hitting that hole coming 100 miles an hour. Like, I was like, this man is a freight train, man. Like, that dude coming down. I wouldn't want to tackle that man coming downhill. How he was hitting them holes, he was coming downhill. So I'm like, we're going to be fine. Like I said, we dominated them. Let's be real. We dominated them. The Saints, when they're in that locker room, they like, man, we really dodged the bullet. They know that we had. And trust me, they going back to the drawing board like, this Falcons team going to be a problem for us because they didn't figure us out. The only thing I can say they figured out is, okay, we got to go up tempo. But that doesn't necessarily work if you stay consistent with your blitzing, bringing that pressure. That only worked because we stopped bringing pressure. So they really going to have to go back to the drawing board because they had no answer for Mariota running. They had no answer for CP. I mean, he did whatever he wanted. I think he rushed for like 120-something yards, 130 yards. And we know when we had TJ Jones for the State of the Saints on, I seen when y'all had him on, he was talking about how they hadn't given up 100 yards rushing. Or they only gave up like 100 yards twice last year. I mean, Cordell made it look easy. He almost had 100 yards rushing in the first half. So this team is going to be fine. And that's one thing that I think you can we can help hang our hat on is that running game.
200 yards rushing. They had 200, like I said, they had 400 yards total, 416 yards total, and 200 yards rushing. So, like I said, I'm not worried about Arthur Smith and his ability to call plays. At the end of the day, you got to execute, man. And I think we had way too many mistakes. You cannot have mistakes.
And be aggressive. Like we blaming Dean Pease, that's also goes on Arthur Smith as well. As I said, at the end of the game, 4th and 1, be aggressive. You're an offensive-minded coach. Most offensive-minded coaches, Andy Reid, Kyle Shanahan, they going for it right there. 4th and 1, we running the ball for over 200 yards. We going for it. If you stop us, you stop us. But 9 times out of 10, as I always say, when the game come down, it's a 4th and 1, 4th and inches. That's when palms get sweaty. That's when backsides get tight. We seen late in the game where they had that holding penalty on Lattimore. Like everybody get nervous when it's 4th and 1. Everybody gets nervous. So you got to go for it right there. I mean, the game is on the line. You make the first down, you win the game. You don't rely on your defense. You know, we still had that opportunity. So I feel like those are the situational football situations where you got to know, okay, they got the momentum. We got to take the momentum back. And I think that was the time in the game where we should have went for it. We shouldn't have put the defense back on the field because really we didn't possess the ball for that long, and the defense at that point was gassed. And to me, the offense had the advantage the whole game. Like they weren't stopping us. We were winning the trenches. We were controlling the trenches. You can run a quarterback sneak right there. We seen Mariota scoring that quarterback sneak. A 4th and 1, you get under center. You tell everybody push. You tell the running back or the fullback, push me. We're going to get this 1 yard. Like the way we're controlling the line of scrimmage, we're going to get that 1 yard. We'll go back to what Blackberry was saying. You got to trust your offense. You got to trust your guys. In that situation, I'm putting that ball in Mariota's hands. I'm either running an option or I'm just saying we're going to run a quarterback sneak. That's probably what I would have did. Went heavy and just say, everybody push up front. Mariota gonna sneak behind me, and that's when you put your head down. You want to put your head down all game. This is where we need you to stretch that ball out, get this yard, and let's get out of here with a win. Because after that, you want a victory formation. They had no time
read
out.
some numbers. Let me read some numbers for you, and this is what come down to it. All right. So we're gonna read a few numbers, and I think this is, the true essence of football. The Saints were 3 for 3 in the red zone. Falcons were 2 for 4. Penalties 8. Both teams had 8 penalties. One team had 1 turnover, Saints, and the Falcons had 2. The time possession for the Atlanta Falcons, 33 minutes to their 29. So it all come down to it. This is what Drew always says. Always come down to those 2 to 3 plays during the game that loses or wins you the game. That's what it comes down. If Mariota does not fumble, this game is done.
It's over.
You can continue to run the clock. It's over. So, like I said, Arthur, we can say what we can say about Dean Pease and Arthur, but those players still gotta make plays. They gotta make plays. They didn't make plays. They made crucial mistakes at the wrong time. Like I said, but man, they had so much pressure. Like I said, we talk about changing the culture, man. I've seen that. I am impressed with what I've seen from this team. We still got a long way to go. I think there's going to be problems. We got to make sure that we really clean up a lot of things, as K Styles joined us. But I think we need to clean a lot of things with our passing game and the quarterback. We got to make sure, like Blackberry said, we got to make sure that he gets on the center because he looked like absolute ass. he looked bad on the center. He looked like he hadn't been on the center in a long time.
That's what happened when you stand in the pistol all game, Mike.
He was in the pistol all game.
That is Coach Smith's fault. He calling the plays, get out of pistol and get in the I formation. Because now when the game on the line, he ain't. You know what I'm saying? The dude snapped it right into his stomach. Like this dude ain't been under center all game. He been so used to being in the pistol in the shotgun formation. Now I come down to a crucial moment. You ain't did it. You know what I'm saying? So that's repetition. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like you said, players make plays, coaches coach. So I ain't giving Mariota no excuses. At the end of the day, he gotta be better. That was winning time.
One more stat. This right here, like I said, I'm not worried about the Atlanta Falcons, but this is one more stat. Guess how many sacks the Falcons gave up?
0.
So I'm not worried about the offense. We're good, but we gotta clean up the mistakes. And this is a young team. I know it hurts, Falcons fans. All right, trust me, we all hurt, but it's a lot to look forward to. This is a young team. Like if anybody knows us, the Saints know their team, and it always comes. It was the same thing last year. First game of the season against the Saints, we end up, with the beneficiary of that win, kicking the field goal. So, like I said, this happens. This happens. So, like I said, I'm proud of it. I love the pressure up front. I think AK-47, that dude is gonna be a superstar. Let me just say that. That dude gonna be a superstar, man. That dude is special. He was in the backfield all night, and not just one side. He wasn't just playing the right side. He was playing the left side. He was all over the field. He just continued to get pressure right along with Lorenzo Carter, the Georgia product. Man, them dudes were flying all over the field, man. Anthony Rush. If I normally give a game ball. I'm gonna give a game ball right now. I gotta give my game ball to Anthony Rush. He played big boy ball. They did not have a success. They ran the ball on the outside. Okay, that's how they got it. They weren't running the ball up the middle like they typically do. So, like I said, the Falcons defense, they're going to be fine, but we got to understand those moments, some crucial moments in football games, and we gotta cultivate that momentum. When we got it, we gotta hold it. We cannot let it get away.
Hey, I'm about to say, y'all can hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
we
What's
can
up, K-Styles?
Hey man, I've been sitting back here listening to y'all talking, man. And I know probably people see me on screen like, damn, why the hell he ain't said nothing? Um,
hear.
really what this game come down to, just like what we always say. How many minutes is there in the football game?
60
60.
minutes. All right. 60 minutes, man.
So
Hold on. Let me say this real quick. Look, turn my bro. Like, if y'all expecting AFN, Jew Talk Sports, 6-man K-Styles, if you're expecting us to run away from shit, you got the wrong mother pluckers, okay? We don't run from anything.
right.
We don't run from anything. We take our L's. We're not gonna run. You're gonna see us on wins. You're gonna see us on losses. So if y'all expected us to, to not, no, that's what we do. We stand up over here. So, like I said, man,
Right.
it is what it is. The Saints played a tremendous game. They made the right moves. I still think I'm gonna be honest. I'm still not impressed with Pete Carmichael. I think he had a pretty poor game plan coming in. I think he tried to be Sean Payton a little bit too much, and he got desperate at the end of the game, and all he did was just go to the hurry up. The protection was horrible. They did not run the ball well. I didn't see Alvin Kamara being involved in the game as much as I thought he should have been. Like I said, I'm not impressed. Dennis Allen is obviously a great defensive coach. But Pete Carmichael, he got a ways to go with that offense and that team.
Look, all I gotta say, all I will say on that is, I mean, I remember they said the Falcons was the worst team in football, right?
Yeah.
Didn't look like it today, did it?
Damn sure didn't look like.
Right.
But what today's game kind of reminded, like you said, when they came out, this is why I say it's a 60-minute game. You gotta have that same energy for 60 minutes. That's the difference. But I looked at it as like an MMA match. You can hit them legs all day, and you see your opponent stagger, just like you said. But if you trying to Superman punch that dude and you miss,
yeah,
that's exactly what happened. It's just like one of those things where you have to ride the wave to see how it goes. And like you always say, man, 4 or 5 plays, man. Like you said, the Mariota fumble, the Zacchaeus fumble.
Jalen Hawkins dropping the interception early in the game.
The Hawkins interception, I would that was crucial, but I wouldn't say that was detrimental.
I'd say you got to make the play. If you
still got to make the play, but
you put your offense on a short field. That was a tough catch, but he was in position. Like when you get in position, it was, to me, it wasn't like a insurmountable catch. It wasn't like he went up with one hand. You went up with 2 hands, you come down with it. That's how I look at it.
Right. But that's gonna be where the difference comes between the leadership as far as in between the lines too, to really sense that momentum. Like I said, Deion Jones was missed very much today defensively, and they still played. They still balled out against the worst team. Like I said, against one of the top 10 teams in the league, struggled against the worst team in football. That we cannot put that past that.
Let me say something real quick, K-Style.
I hope you're seeing what I'm seeing.
I'm seeing this hypocrisy, this bullshit, these asinine comments.
Yeah,
if you watch this football game for real, if you really sit down and watch this game, it's nowhere in the hell that you can sit here and say that the Falcons look like the worst team in the NFL. Because we whooped their ass. Y'all know what whooping somebody ass in football mean? That means we were more physical. We was busting them in the mouth more than they was busting us. We out physically played this team today. If you was watching this game, we was running them over. We literally were running them over. Okay.
Let me 200 yards rushing. Y'all have not allowed 100-yard rusher in dang near 2 years, and we did it 2 times in one game. So don't tell me that y'all are not impressed. Stop it. You just fooling yourself.
Yeah, but look, and ain't now one of us sit up here and made an excuse. Go ahead.
Hey, look. Like I said, they gave up 200-yard rushing to the worst team in football. Think about that. That's big. Like you said, we just have to bring it for 60 minutes. When you don't play.
And neither one of us, nobody on this panel today has made an excuse for this loss. We've put it all on us. Everybody has put it on us on this panel. Not one of us has made an excuse. But if you watch this game, you saw how this game was going. It was we were physically unmatched for them. There was nothing they could do to stop us from doing what we wanted to do. It all came down to us taking our foot off the gas, going away from what we were seeing was working, and getting conservative too early. On the defensive side of the ball, we got too conservative. We got too conservative on both sides of the ball. But nobody on here has made an excuse for this loss. Yeah, y'all still won. Okay. But if you was watching this game as a Saints fan, ain't nowhere in the world you can't tell me you was doing this. So looking.
Oh no, please. Them boys was quiet. Mother was quiet.
If you was watching this game, your ass was sweating beads because you was getting your ass whooped, and you know it. So you can sit here and be tough in your little texts and in your little comments. You can act real tough down there, but your team know. They in that locker room, and they in there, and they know they got some bumps and some bruises today because the Falcons were whooping their ass. They wiping the sweat off their heads. Oh, yeah, and don't forget, we got to see y'all again. Don't forget that. You got to get this ass whooping again, and this time we gonna close it out because this coaching style, they gonna learn from these mistakes today.
Yeah.
So count your days. Count your days, Saints fans. Count your days. Y'all ain't in the swamp today. Y'all gonna be in the swamp next time.
This is a second-year head coach. He's going to make mistakes. And like I said, he's learning his personnel. Like I said, most of these guys are, we got a couple of guys in their second year with him, but most of these guys are on the offensive side of the ball. They in their first year with him. Outside of CP, that's what we were talking about. Like, him having to get familiar with those guys. He knows what plays to call to get the ball to a Michael Thomas. He knows how to get Alvin Kamara and that offense going. He knows that. This is his second year with Jameis Winston. So he understands that already. So at the end of the day, like I said before, Saints played a wonderful game. They played a wonderful game. They closed things out when need be. That's what good teams are supposed to do. You're supposed to close out when you need to. They didn't start out the greatest. The Falcons didn't start out the greatest, but it's all about ending, how you finish. It's all about how you finish. It's like I said,
can you withstand the storm?
That's
all it comes down to.
Because it was a thunderstorm, wasn't it? It was a storm. They got hit. They got hit by a thunderstorm today. And they weathered it. Hats off to them.
Yeah. But the thing about it is they sent a message. Best believe that. They sent the Falcons sent them a message. And that was a message that they weren't ready for.
Okay, I'm trying to get this. We got a super chat. I'm trying to hold on. I lost it. I lost the super chat. It's somewhere. Um, but like I said, I'm like if there were one thing offensively that you guys can say for both teams, offensively, defensively, that you are impressed with, what would those things be?
Okay, so I guess I'll start it off, Mike, because I had to get ready to get off,
Mm-hmm.
jump off here. But I'll say for the Falcons, it was mainly the offensive line in the running game because we talked about it um, during the preseason. I kind of talked about it with you guys offline. It's like I didn't know based off of the competition that we played, even though we played against NFL teams, we had the Lions, the Jets, the Jaguars. I'm like, okay, these teams are not probably going to be playoff teams, so I wanted to see how the Falcons would stack up against top competition. And I do consider the Aints top competition as far as we know they always have a stout front seven. And to see the way that we had our way with them. And that's why I say I don't worry about the trollers that are in the chat. The people that's trolling. As Blackberry said, and like I said, they know they dodged the bullet. CP was having his way, and he was yelling and screaming and talking junk in their face while he was doing it. It wasn't like he was just quietly. When you said it was a thunderstorm, he was letting all of them know. DeMario Davis, whoever wanted some, he said, I'm coming through here 100 miles an hour. Who want to try to tackle me? Yeah. None of them was trying to see that man. And the Honey Badger, I consider him a dog, but CP was the top dog today. He let all of them boys know, like, I run this. I'm coming through here. Who wants some of this? They were making big. Look, Jonathan Vilma was calling the game. He's a former Saint. He was saying on the telecast, like, they ain't trying to see CP. I see a lot of business decisions out there. He said that. They ain't trying to see CP. CP all about his business. He coming downhill 100 miles an hour, and he said, I see these guys making business decisions. So I say that running game is what I'm excited about because we know good teams, the running game and defense travels. In the playoffs, when it get cold outside, we know two things are going to hold up in football: running the ball and playing good defense. Mm-hmm. And today, that's what I saw. I saw solid defense. The defensive line, I believe, had 4 or 5 sacks, which I ain't seen in we don't know how many years. I mean, I was impressed with that one drive.
The most
sacks. You had
the most sacks since 2000. Most sacks in the game since 2020.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what impressed me about the offense and the defense is the trenches. You guys know I always say the game is won and lost in the trenches. When we had control of that game, we were controlling the tempo. We were controlling the trenches. When we lost the trenches, it stopped blitzing. That's when the Saints took back and the pendulum swung back the other way. For the Saints, I'll say in this game, what I'll give them the benefit of is that they kept trying different things, is what Mike was talking about. Mm-hmm. They seen that nothing was working. So what did they do? They made adjustments. They seen like, dang, we can't run the ball. Alvin Kamara can't do nothing. Okay, they tried Taysom Hill, and to me, they went away from what was working because Taysom Hill actually was doing his thing. You heard Jonathan Vilma, and I talk about it all the time. If you don't understand the game of football, listen to the people on the telecast, especially if it's a former player. Jonathan Vilma was saying, if I'm Pete Carmichael, I'm going back to that Taysom Hill. You pick up 3 or 4 yards here and there. Don't try to throw the ball because the Falcons are getting after it in the trenches. They're not giving Jameis Winston no time to throw the ball. Jameis Winston is inaccurate. His timing is off. So the biggest thing that I'll give the Saints credit for, and we always talk about coaching is very important, is they kept trying different things. And then once they figured out, okay, let's go up tempo. Once they seen that, that was kind of working, they stuck with it. We seen once they went no huddle, I think those last 2 drives, they didn't go away from that. They didn't deviate. See them huddle up at all. They did not deviate. Once they figured out, okay, this is working, we're going to stick with it. We're not going back to Taysom Hill. We're not going back to Alvin Kamara. And that's why Mike's saying they went away from Alvin Kamara. Well, they seeing it wasn't working. So a smart coach will go away from your game plan if it's not working. So I'll say the biggest thing I've seen for the Saints is they made the proper adjustments. Now, their defense, I'm worried about their defense. I think them trading away C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and I talked about this on the Heavy Hitter Show, is a huge blow to that defense because we had our way with their defense. Like I didn't see nothing positive to me out of that defense. They weren't getting pressure consistently. They won't stopping our wide receivers because I seen Cordell Hodge getting open. I seen Zacchaeus getting open. Like you said, if anything, Mariota just wasn't letting the ball go. He was taking off, pulling the ball, pulling the ball down and taking off. But the prime example, and this will be the last thing that I'll say, the Saints play the Buccaneers next week. I just looked at the schedule. They're going to see what Mike was talking about great quarterbacks don't make crucial mistakes. Trust me, Tom Brady, once he find your weakness, it's going to be death by 1,000 paper cuts. Once he find that corner that can't cover and hold this guy, he going to keep hitting that soft spot. He going to keep hitting it. And now y'all going to see what Mike was talking about by great quarterbacks, they don't make crucial mistakes. Once they find that weakness, they don't deviate and go away from it. And that's all I'll say. So with the Saints, to me, they got a lot of work to do when it comes to the defense because I don't see anything that they can hang their hat on. What did they do well on defense today? They didn't sack us. They really weren't stopping us. I mean, we've seen a couple
200 yards rushing. We had 200 yards rushing. They didn't do anything right.
So they didn't do nothing good on. Like I didn't see nothing on defense where I could say, okay, they can hang their hat on this. I really didn't see them do much. You can maybe say, okay, they took the ball away. We'll give them credit for that because they did punch the ball out on OZ. So they took advantage of I guess, turning the ball over. I guess that we can say they did that well. But far as like stopping us, I really feel like we shot ourselves in the foot. I really didn't see them stop our running game. They didn't stop our passing game. We did whatever we wanted to. To be honest, we just went away from what was working. So I really put this game on coaching. I really can't even put this on the players. And that'll be the last thing that I'll say. But I'm really impressed with this team because you guys know on my channel what I always say, the trenches. That's what I'm most concerned about. And in this game, I feel like the trenches on both sides, the offensive line and defensive line, dominated. And I'm really impressed with that.
All right, Black, what you got?
Well, Millie Mills asked a question on that. I'm gonna answer that real quick. Okay. I know we're gonna dive into a lot of position things later on in the week, but he asked so how do we fix the coverage issue to close out games? Do we put more DBs on the field or what? Well, Millie Mills, a lot of what coaches are gonna do first they're gonna, after they watch film, they're gonna look and see. They're going to look at the positions, the players that was on the field in these situations, and they're going to coach them up on things that they could have did better in those situations. We got a young edge guy in AK, Ebiketie. I think this is going to be a learning experience for him in those situations where now the defensive calls are more conservative and you don't have a pass, you don't have a blitz coming or something like that, and you know that the offense that you're going against have to pass the ball now because they have to get back into the game. AK is going to have to realize that means the ball's going to come out faster. That means there's not going to be deep dropbacks by the quarterback now. And Jameis wasn't doing deep dropbacks. He was trying to get that ball out fast. Trying to get around the tackle is all good early in the game and in the mid part of the game when the game is still close. But when these guys have to throw the ball, get the ball out fast, you're going to have to do a lot of more inside moves to get yourself inside to get pressure. Always trying to go around the outside of that tackle. You might, you sometimes it works when the quarterback has to throw the ball, but because those dropbacks are not as far back now, they're doing 4-stop drops. They're doing 3-stop drops. The most five-step dropbacks. You're going to have to do more inside moves to get that pressure. So I think that's something for a young edge guy who we know got the talent. We know we got the ability. He was doing his thing all game. That situational ball, something that LT was talking about earlier, where these coaches going to come in and they going to help these guys understand those situations better and how to attack their assignments better. But something I was real happy to see, I just like everybody else done said, is the offensive line being able to hold up for the entirety of the game. This offensive line did a a phenomenal job today. They were run blocking, they were pass blocking, they was doing a good job communicating with each other when Mariota would have to go into a pre-snap audible, or he went into a pre-snap read where he adjusted the protection. They did a wonderful job understanding their assignments and executing those assignments today. We had some penalties in some situations, but like I said, that's stuff that can be coached up because it wasn't an issue all game. It was an issue in situations. So that's something that'll be coached up. And defensively, I really love what I saw out of Michael Walker. Okay. Michael Walker was doing the damn thing today, y'all. His assignment today was Alvin Kamara. He took him out the game. I don't think it's necessary.
Blackberry, before you go on, talk about that play. Talk about that play on that screenplay. Talk about it, man. I seen that. I was like, that's why I had him as my X factor. Talk about that play. That could have been a huge play.
It was him by himself, Juke. It was him by himself. It was him by himself out there with Alvin Kamara and about 3 offensive linemen. Mm-hmm. And he had to understand, I cannot allow for somebody to get in front of me on this play, because Alvin Kamara, if he get this ball, it was nothing but open field. It was nothing but open field for him to be able to get loose. Michael Walker shut it down. He shut it down. So, defensively, like I said, man, I don't have a whole lot of wrong with what went on in this game with the game plan. It was all about situational moments where we need to just make smarter decisions on how we gonna attack the football. And so that's what it is for me. That I was happy with the linebacker play. I was happy with the offensive line. We got a lot to build on. We would have better team here. We just let it slip through our fingers.
Well, we're going to end it right now. So I thank everybody for joining us, man. This has been another successful season opener for us. I think we did a good job, man. No matter what, whether it's win, losses, we're going to be here. And at the end of the day, man, there's going to be positive. There's going to be negative. But as a fan base, I think today we showed up at that dome. They was rocking all day long on third down. And like I said, that played a tremendous impact on the defense. Like I said, at the end of the day, man, these guys still are young, so we're going to have to be patient. I know a lot of people ain't trying to hear that, but who the hell cares? Be patient. Go to another team. Be patient or go to another team. We young. Defensively, like I said before, not really surprised about anything. Like I said, I expect this year to be up and down. But if there's one thing that I'm proud of with this team is how they pretty much shut down a Saints offense. And Saint fans, y'all can say whatever y'all want to, but they shut you down. Not only that, they ran through your defense. 200 yards rushing. That's something that y'all been, y'all love stats, y'all love numbers. And you said no team has run over 200. Well, y'all got ran through like Suki Hunter. All right, that's what y'all did. Y'all got ran through. All right. So, with that being said, offensively, got a ways to go. A bunch of young guys. But like I said, man, I'm disappointed we didn't get the win, but I'm not disappointed on how they building this team. 0 sacks. I don't think people understand that. 0 sacks. That's something that we've been praying for the last I don't know how many years, bro. They gave us 0 sacks to the Saints. To the Saints. You hear me? So man. That's all, man. If that's all, you guys ain't got anything else to say, we're gonna end it, man, and kind of watch the rest of these games. Hey, man, it's football Sunday. All right, we still got 4:00 game and it's the 8:00 game tonight. Hey, man, I'm about to go eat. I'm about to go lay down and watch me some ball. So I appreciate you guys for joining us. If you guys have not already, you can check out the link in the description for Manscaped, 20% off using the AFN code. Hey man, get your beard game going and all that type of stuff. Get shaved, get some, just get some stuff over there, Manscaped. So, with that being said, man, I'm out of here, man. I'm tired. I've been up all freaking morning. I did not sleep at all. But I'm about to hit the sack. All right, so I'm gone, man. Peace.